I'm pretty sure by now, basically, I'm pretty sure by now a lot of you have, for the past year or so, known or heard, I think, when was it? Late last year or around last year, if you will. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know or heard and reacted to the fact that not only are we getting a live action Ghost in the Shell movie, but we're getting one with Scarlett Johansson in the lead of Major, trying to make sure I pronounce her name, Motoko, Major Motoko, or Kozaki. I think that's her name, I'm trying to make sure I pronounce it right. Major Motoko, uh, Kaiserjin, or whatever. Just the Major, as she's being dubbed right now. And like a lot of you, I spoke about it here on YouTube, and to me, I can understand and respect everybody's opinion. I mean, I understand, a lot of people pretty much feel that Scarlett Johansson is not the right choice, and that an Asian actress should be in the lead role of the Major. And I have nothing against that opinion. If you feel someone of Asian descent should be in the role of Major Monotako, Mo- Motoko, or the Major, basically. I'm not going to say her name right now because I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. Uh, but if you feel that an Asian actor should be in the role of the Major, then that's your opinion. You're free to it. But here's what I feel, though. Here's what I feel about my personal opinion. Here's what I feel about the whole reaction, negative or positive, to it. Again, I can understand and even respect people's opinions. There's Ming Na Wen, Ming Na, what is it? Ming Na Wen, Constant Wu, or Constantine Wu, Constantine or Constant Wu, who are not happy about Scarlett Johansson being in the role. I mean, they have come out. I mean, Ming Na has come out and said she's one of Scarlett's biggest supporters, one of her biggest fans. But she just feels uh, they just feel that she's just not right for the role. Authentically, and race wise, she's not right for the role. However, reports have come out in the past 5 days, almost a week, that not only is DreamWorks and Paramount set on Scarlett Johansson being the Major in the Ghost in the Shell movie, but reports are now coming out that the studios are taking steps to make her look more Asian. That's right. That's right. They're taking steps to make Scarlett Johansson look more Asian. And how are they doing that? They're going to do it by using these visual effects. Let me see if I can get the name on it. But basically, they're going to use a CGI, some kind of CGI visual effects. I think maybe in the same vein as what was used, like motion capture or something. Uh, it says VFX test. VFX test. And this is according to Latino Review, if I can get it up. The one thing okay, let me see here. Let's see. Let's see. See. Let's see. It says a recent report from Screen Crush, and I think I can pull that up, stated that not only did the studio hire a white actress, but they took steps to make her look, they italic the word, more Asian. And then basically they're talking that's right, and they basically, Latino Review puts it out saying, that's right, we're talking a modern yellow face. And here's what Screen Crush had to say. I'm pretty sure you've read this already, but here's what they said, and I quote, according to multiple independent sources close to the project, Paramount and DreamWorks commissioned visual effects tests that would have altered Scarlett Johansson in post-production to shift her authentically and make the Caucasian actress appear more Asian in the film. It's the latest and most extreme case of quote-unquote beauty work, the new trend in Hollywood to discreetly use visual effects to tweak an actor's appearances, make them look thinner, younger, or stronger. The Ghost in the Shell tests were conducted by Lola VFX, the same company that aged up and down Brad Pitt in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and is considered the industry leader in so-called beauty work. Though the tests were requested by the production team, once they were developed and reviewed, the idea was rejected immediately, says an insider. Now, Paramount had the following to say regarding the report, and I quote Paramount here, a test was done related to a specific scene for a background actor, which was ultimately discarded. Absolutely no visual tests were conducted on Scarlett's character, and we have no future plans to do so. Now, what's funny about this is since this report was made according to Latino Review and Screen Crush, Thomas Ninneman, who is a producer at VFX and managing partner at Lola FX, has refuted the claim in an email response to the outlet stating, Lola, quote unquote, Lola was not / has not been contacted to do VFX work on the film Ghost in the Shell. Now, Latino Review goes on to say, as of this writing, Screen Crush stands by the claim, though none of these make it any more clear that the actual truth. Okay, it says, as of this writing, Screen Crush stands by the claim, though none of these mistakes make it any more clear what the actual truth is. If nothing else, this latest outcry from the internet is proof that the audience is starting to get fed up with the quote-unquote whitewashing trend in Hollywood. Sure, a studio needs to cover its bases to make a profit, but somewhere down the line, someone needs to take a risk to give those non-white actors a shot to make it big. Otherwise, it'll never happen. Ultimately, this won't affect Ghost in the Shell. The film is going forward as planned, but hopefully this will be seen by studios execs as a call for change. Maybe they'll realize how much of the populace they're missing out on by not giving due representation. Perhaps future similar adaptations will be more appropriately cast. Okay, now I agree. Now I totally get what they're saying here, and again, it's all a matter of opinion. I totally get that. You know, but when one thinks about it, and this is where it really gets interesting. This is really, really, where it really, excuse me for a second. Like I said, this is where it really gets interesting because the publisher of the Ghost in the Shell manga says Scarlett Johansson is well cast. That's right. According to The Independent, IGN, GameSpot, and various other news sources, Cinema Blend and is one, and others, but IGN, and this is IGN 3 days ago, The Independent 2 days ago, and GameSpot 2 days ago, have all said the same thing. The Japanese publisher of Ghost in the Shell is behind Scarlett Johansson being the major. And he says, and I quote, we never, and this is a quote they use from the publisher, he says, we never imagined it would be a Japanese actress in the first place. And that's part of what the Independent said, and you could also read it on IGN, on GameSpot, and other news sources out there. But basically, they never intended for the major to be obviously of any descent or any race, any ethic or ethicsy. You know, they didn't obviously plan for the major to be of any race, any ethic, SSC, excuse me, hold on for a second, here I go again. Ethicness. You know, they never expected, obviously, the major or any of the characters in Ghost in the Shell to be of any race, based in of any just one race. Obviously, they meant for them to be of any race. I mean, if you're an African American or Latin American or Native American or Canadian American or whatever, Australian, Canadian, European, Mexican, Latino, African, African American, like I said, Chinese American, Chinese, Korean, whatever race you are, from what I'm understanding here from the publisher themselves, is the characters basically when you have the publisher come out and say, hey, look, we never intended a Japanese actress to be her. It could be any actress. I mean, what I'm getting here from what he's saying is we could have even cast an African American actress in the role of the major and wouldn't made any difference, because basically when you read the manga or you watch the animes, basically it doesn't matter what race you see them as. It doesn't matter. It could be of any, like I said, it could be of any race. It could be of any authentic, ethicsy. It could be of any of it. And I think that's what I'm getting here. True. Scarlett Johansson's a big name. I mean, she has done so much already. Lucy. She's doing. She's got a new role coming out where she's Zelda Fitzgerald or something. The Avengers. She played the voice of Kaa, the female version of Kaa, in the Jungle Book recently. She's playing a porcupine girl in Sing. She's she's done all these different roles, minor or major. And from what I'm getting here, and again, I'll go on to IGN and look this up. The thing is, to me, I don't think it would have mattered to the publisher of Ghost in the Shell who it would have been. It wouldn't have mattered if you had an actress. It wouldn't have mattered if you had an African American actress, or a Latino actress, or a European actress, or an Australian actress, or any of that kind. I don't think it would have mattered either way to them who would have been playing the major, because what I'm getting here, folks, and I know I sound like a broken record. It is late, so I do apologize. But what I'm getting here is it's not a matter of what race or what ethic the person is, ethicsy the person is. That as long as that person can act and that person can, really get into who that character is, I think that's all that matters. Let's be honest with ourselves. When Power Rangers came out here in the United States, when Power Rangers came here to the United States in 1993, did we get mad at the fact that, they're being portrayed by, different different races? You had you had several white actors and actresses, an Asian actress and a black actress. Did it matter then? No. Did it matter when they switched up the Yellow Ranger and Mighty Morphin from male to female? No. What it is nowadays, I think, is we as the audience, we as the movie-going public, we as the multimedia-loving public, or multimedia-going public, have become so immersed. We have become so immersed in what we want to see. We've become so attached to what we want that when we don't get what we feel is right, we throw a hissy fit. That's the truth. We throw a freaking hissy fit. I look at I know I've used this as an example several times already. Okay? But you take a look at the Sonic community, and when Archie Comics, before the Soft Retcon reboot in 252, when they would put Sonic and Sally together, you would have several Sonic Amy fans be pissing and moaning at the fact that Sonic was with Sally and not with Amy, all because Amy is in the games and she's a hedgehog. Really? So you're going to throw a hissy fit at the fact that he's not with Amy in the comics, but yet it's being portrayed in the games that he just wants to be friends with her. I don't get it. Now, I can understand maybe they want to diversitize that with Boom. They want to change that up with Boom. I get that. But the point is it shouldn't matter, who Sonic ends up with in one form of the media for the franchise and who he ends up with in the other form. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter at all. And you look at Batman v Superman. True, in the eyes of a lot of fans, true diehard fans, they messed up big time. They basically took too many stories, epic Batman, DC, Justice League related, Superman related stories, and crunched them all into one movie. You had Dark Knight Returns, you had the Doomsday Saga, or the Doomsday storyline, you had Batman vs. Superman from Dark Knight, you had the story of introducing the Justice League. Just so much on the plate Just so much on the plate, too much stuff, that it became, in the eyes of a lot of the die-hard fans, convoluted. And a lot of the critics that probably didn't understand what was going on, it became too convoluted for them. But yet everybody looked at, but as time has gone on, true, it may have not been the best starting point for the extended universe, but guess what? People are actually coming to like it more after going and seeing it a few more times and thinking, okay, maybe it was a little too much for us to take in the first time. Now we're watching it a second time, we can take it in a little bit better and kind of understand it more. The point is, you're not always going to get what you want. All right? You're not always going to get what you want. Did I like when Ian Flynn wrote the Mecha Sally arc and had, in storyline wise, had Eggman do what he did to Sally? No. I didn't like it, because that's not what I wanted, but you know what? I dealt with it in my own way. I just didn't read the comic. And if you feel, hey, Ghost in the Shell is not the way I wanted, then don't see the movie. That's the perfect, honest answer. But when you have Kodansha, or Kodansha, Kodansha, the publisher of the original Ghost in the Shell manga, say this in response to everybody's reaction. This is what he says, and this is through Sam Yoshiba, director of Kodansha's International Business Division. This is what he said on behalf of Kodansha, and he says, and I quote, "Looking at her career so far, and this is Kodansha, translated to Sam through his translator Sam Yobashi. Kodansha says, and I quote, "Looking at her career so far, I think Scarlett Johansson is well cast. She has this cyberpunk feel, and we never imagined it would be a Japanese actress in the first place. This is a chance for a Japanese property to be seen around the world." And that's from the publisher Kodansha through his director Sam Yoshiba of his International Business Division. Now, it does say that THR has also reported that Yoshiba has visited this movie's New Zealand set and that he was impressed by the respect being shown for the source material. Okay. Kodansha is not a person, it's a publisher. It's a publication. Sam Yoshiba, the director of the International Business Division of Kodansha's, was the one commenting, the publisher, if you will. And basically, he was impressed, according to this, by the respect being shown for the source material. Now, that's coming from the publisher. That's coming from the people that first put the manga Ghost in the Shell, which this is based on the map. So when someone like that comes out and says, yes, she's perfect, then who are we to argue? It's like I said, if you don't like the fact that she's going to be the lead, she's going to be the major, then don't go see the movie. All right? Don't go see the movie. There was a lot of people, let's remember this, there was a lot of people that after they saw the trailer for Gem, didn't go and see the movie. And it killed the movie. The movie came out at the end of October, and guess what? Towards the end of January, it came out. Yeah, less than 4 months after. Less than 4 months. You take a look at the end of October and November, that's a month. December into January, 2 months after it came out in theaters, it was already on DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah, it was that bad because nobody liked it. Nobody cared for it. Now, true, you can argue, oh, well, they were just trying to envision it for a new generation. That might be true, but guess what? It wasn't true to the source material. It didn't live up to what Gem was originally. And here you have the freaking publisher, the director of the publication, coming out to the set and saying that he was respected, that he was impressed by the respect being shown to the source material. So when you have people, even in a place like New Zealand, showing respect to the original source material of this, that's saying something. That is saying something. And again, like I said, I can understand and respect the fact that not a lot of people are happy that Scarlett Johansson is in the lead as the Major. I get that. I understand that. But, we can only judge by, we can only judge by who they bring on. We can't judge the movie itself just because, Scarlett Johansson's playing the Major. We can't judge that. We can't. And, how many adaptations, anime, Western animation, comic book, you name it, has ever been in movies to where maybe there's a chance they've kind of, I don't know, loosely adapted a few things or changed some things up to make it more westernized in a sense, if not world international, if you will. A lot. So yeah, they may change her name from Major, from her Japanese name, which is Major Motoko Kozaki. They may change it to Major Molina for all we care, or Major Maria. Who knows? Or they may just keep the name and say, "Oh, you were adopted by an Asian family, so as a baby, so they gave you this name." So we don't know. There might be a few changes, there's no doubt. But if they stay, if the director of the publication, the publisher in the publication, goes out and says they are being true to the source material, then who are we to argue? Again, I totally understand and respect the opinions of all the Asian actors and actresses out there. I get that. I understand and respect that. You do deserve a movie, an anime, or manga adaptation on the big screen with a lead Asian actor or actress, playing the lead role of the lead character or characters. I get that. I understand that. But when you have someone like Sam Yobashi, or Yoshiba, I should say, coming out and saying that this is a chance for the world to get to know Ghost in the Shell even more so, who are we to argue? I mean, there have been successful blockbuster films out there based on a lot of things throughout history. And even though the casting in the eyes of many fans may have been wrong, and may have been wrong in the eyes of many fellow actors and actresses, that in the end, the movie turns out to be a success. It turns out to be a huge hit, and even those that criticize the casting, even come out and say, "Hey, I actually enjoyed it. I still don't agree with the casting call, but hey, I actually enjoyed the performance. I thought they did good. I thought they did terrific." So who's to say that just because like someone like Scarlett Johansson is cast as the Major, that she's not going to do a good job, that the movie's not going to be a huge hit? It will be. And when you think about it, look at the animation in the anime. Look at it. Do any of the characters, honestly, do any of them look Asian or Japanese in some sense? Not really. And I think when the publisher and the director come out, the publisher, the publication, and the director of said publication come out and say that a Japanese actress was never, in the cards in the first place, it's like I said earlier. It's basically because in my opinion, they believe they could have cast any actress of any ethnicity or race in the role, and it would have probably worked. Like I said, they could have gone and gotten an Asian actress, big or Japanese actress. That'd be fine. They could have gotten in, but from what I understand here, and hopefully you guys understand this as well, they could have gotten an African American, a Latino American, an African actress, a Latino actress, a European actress, a European American actress, a Canadian actress, a Canadian American actress, an Australian actress, an Australian American actress. They could have gotten any actress of any authenticity or ethnicity in race and put her in that role of the major, and it probably would have worked. And I think that's what he's getting at. But because she has had such an impressive career so far, and I think that's what leads them to want to put her in there. It's not just her name recognition. It's the fact that he said it himself. She has that feel of a cyberpunk. She has that cyberpunk feel that can really bring the major to life in ways we never would have imagined. But again, I get how people feel. I understand how you feel. I really do. When Jem and the Holograms came out, I, like anybody else, I didn't go and see it because I was too upset at the fact that they basically betrayed the original Jem source material. I mean, there was nothing connected to Jem except towards the end at the mid-credits, and that was it. Nothing else. Nothing really connecting to her. Nothing that made Jem was in that movie, and pretty much that's why it bombed. Hopefully, as I've said before, maybe they'll finally get enough sense to get Christy Marx on board for a remake and say, or even the freaking sequel, and say, okay, now we're going to go the direction it should have gone in. That's what they need to do. Or that's what they need to do, and that needs to be done. Because when that trailer came out, everybody from myself, Zara Nizarak, Nostalgia Critic Doug Walker, Black Nerd, Andre Meadows, anybody who's anybody that grew up in the 80s in some way, whether you watched Jem full time or you didn't watch Jem full time, but you knew about it, and you've grown up to respect the fact that it was part of your childhood in some way. When you see a live action movie adaptation of Jem being portrayed the way it was, you have all the right in the world to be pissed off. You have all the right in the world to give an opinion that pretty much came true. But the biggest difference between that and what's going on with Ghost in the Shell is, at least even with the choice of Scarlett Johansson, they're staying true to the source material. And that's saying something. So, those are my thoughts on this whole whitewashing, this whole Ghost in the Shell Scarlett Johansson controversy. Let me know what you guys think down below. Sorry this went a little long, which I think is about, well over 30 minutes, by at least 4 minutes over 30. I do apologize for it going long, but it's just something I had to get off my chest. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. But again, don't judge the movie just because of the actress. Judge it for what you're going to see. And if it's staying true to the source material, maybe that's a good thing. And maybe that's the silver lining. A lot of us people that have opinions on whether it's a good choice or it's not, maybe that's the silver lining that has us all in agreement that this may not be as bad as we think. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'm out.